Thanks for joining us today on The Perfect X. My name is Sherry, and this is my co host, Ben.
Hi everyone, this is Ben.
And today we're going to talk about the don'ts or the do not do's when first trying to communicate with someone. But
Yes.
before we jump in, Ben, you were saying you're feeling sick, and I'm getting a little sick. So we're both a little low energy today, huh?
Yeah. I don't know what happened. I was working, everything was fine, and then after I had my lunch, I just started getting like a strange headache and just I don't know, kind of weird. But yeah, I took a nap, took some aspirin, and now I'm feeling a bit better. So, how are you
Yeah.
feeling?
I just have a sore throat. And at first, like, I felt it like in the middle of the night. And then I was like, oh, it's probably because I was talking so much all weekend. But
You talking a lot? No, I'm just
I mean, I felt like I moderated my talking this weekend, but I assumed that's why it was, but it's still like persistent. So I'm definitely getting there. But
I'm sorry.
yeah, yeah, you should be sorry. I'm sure it's your fault
Yeah,
somehow.
probably. Yeah,
But
it's my fault.
what did you do this weekend? Did you have any dates or anything?
No, but surprisingly, I yesterday I went with a friend to this it's kind of like a beer garden. And so we were there chilling. She took her dog. And when I go up to the bar to ask for some drinks, I see this cute girl and she looked really familiar. And I'm like, "Oh, I wonder who she like why does she look so familiar?" And so then I was like, I have to go back. And I went back and she came up to me and she's like, "Hey, do I know you?" And so we ended up knowing each other because she used to be a bartender at another place and she was dating the owner of the bar and they broke up. And so I asked her for her phone number.
No
So
way.
yeah. So yeah,
So you met
it
a
was
girl
fun.
this weekend.
I met a girl this weekend. Well, I mean, I already knew her, but yeah, I mean, but I had never because I knew she was dating the owner of the other bar where she was working. So that's why I was like never going to like ask her for her number or anything. I'm like, I mean, she's dating someone, there's no reason. And so now I was brave enough to go up and because I'm terrible at that, asking for phone numbers or stuff like that. I was just gonna like give my phone number like on a piece of paper and just be like, "Hey, call me if you ever want to." I I'm really terrible at like going up and, "Hey, I think you're really cute or something. Can
But
I don't know.
even
I
the
don't know
piece
how
of
to do it."
paper, even the piece of paper is so cute. I do that sometimes. I'll like just slip my number to someone if, especially it's gonna sound so bad, but like if I see someone from across the room and we're on our way out, I don't have time to talk or whatever, I'll slip a number. That's appreciated. But
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
you didn't
and
even do that. You went. I mean, you spoke with her, but I'm just saying if you
yeah.
had done that, it's still appreciated.
Oh yeah, I know. So because I'm terrible at like going up and asking for phone numbers or trying to or give her my number, like talking. It's so much easier just to write it down and be like, "Hey." And the good thing is that we already knew each other. And she's like, "I can't remember your name." I'm like, "I can't remember yours." And so, "Oh yeah, sure, blah blah blah." And so we did have a like a I don't know 10-minute conversation, and then I went out for other beers. And
Did
so
you
I
get her a beer? Did you order her
no,
one
well,
too?
she's
Or
working.
oh, I thought you meant she was just there.
No. She's working at that place, and so yeah.
Does she also
So
still work at the bar with her ex?
no. So she was telling me all that story and how once they broke up, she kept working there, but then it was kind of awkward, so she left. And this is probably I don't know, maybe 4 years ago. I always with COVID, I'm always like two
I
years did not
know.
happen.
I
But
know,
yeah,
I know.
so yeah, like 4 years ago is when I first met this girl, and she was dating that dude, and I lived close to that bar, so that's why I used to go there a lot. But now that I moved to another place, I'm not that close to that bar anymore, so I kind of stopped hanging out at that bar, and so then I didn't know anything about her. Like she just like stopped working there, and then I just saw her yesterday.
This is a really cute story. I mean, have you messaged her yet or no?
No.
So why what are you planning on messaging her?
I don't know. I don't know. I'll see.
Oh my God, don't take too long. It's kind of
I won't.
insulting nowadays. It is, I'm telling you, like I gave my number actually to a guy this weekend at the bar, and I think it's so insulting that he didn't message on a Sunday. I gave it to him Saturday night. you know? Like, but
It
by the time
just
he messaged to me this morning, I was like, why didn't you just message on Sunday? Like,
well, that's the thing. So, I mean,
just mess.
we're gonna talk about the don'ts and
I
like
I
but
know,
like
I
I just
know.
don't know if it's too soon, and
No,
I don't
no.
know if she's dating someone or I
She
mean,
wouldn't she wouldn't have given you her or she would have said, "I'm dating someone, but I'd love to hang out," you know? You should just message her and be like, "Hey, it was so cool just bumping into you like that." That's it. That's not weird.
okay, I will.
Yeah, yeah, just be like, "It was so cool, like, it was such a blast from the past," or, like I mean, that's so corny to say that, but just say, like just say, "Hey, it was really cool bumping into you after so long yesterday," and then just go from there.
Yeah, I will. And you know what's gonna be really good is that we're gonna talk about things that I should not do today.
Yeah.
So
Well, I don't the things that are coming up, I don't think you would do anyways. It's just not even in your nature to be that annoying,
well, no, I know,
but
but maybe I do something that I don't know it's annoying, you know?
well, I think if you wait 2 days to message her, it's a little bit rude. I
Okay.
think so. Like, that guy messaged me this morning, and I was like, "Well, why didn't you just message the next day like, hey, it was really nice meeting you?'" Not you don't need to get into full-on conversation, but you could just do that and then, kinda go from there. If you do plan a date, since you've known her, what are some of the things, like, going back to our other episode, what is a first date thing you think you would do with her?
Um, I don't know.
You don't know yet.
Maybe, yeah, no, maybe just go out to dinner or something like that.
Yeah,
Something,
because you know
yeah.
her, so dinner with her would be
Yeah, I
pretty
think
good.
it'll be great, like dinner, just to like catch up
Yeah.
and be like, hey, how's it going? Also, she went through some medical things and she's fine now. So yeah, so like health things she went through and she's fine now. So I mean, that's I kind of want to know how she's doing and everything
Since
too.
you guys know each other, like, waiting too long is almost rude, you know what I mean? Like, it's rude when you don't know someone. I mean, remember we talked about, like, the 3-day thing is such bullshit now, but, like, it is kind of weird when someone already knows you and they don't even be like, "Hey, we're, like, cool bumping into you," because it's been a minute now. So if it was, like, 2 days, after 2 days, I would just assume the guy wasn't interested.
Okay, I
If you
will text her right after this episode.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
promise. And then I'll give you um updates next week.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I'm looking for actually, this was such a great way to start this because this is unexpected. It was a good way to start this.
Yeah.
It's cute. It's cute. I like how you guys knew each other in that story. All right. Well, I guess now we're gonna go into like bad ways to communicate online. So, or in general, you know.
Yeah. Just
One
like we
thing.
finished last time that you said KK.
Well, I say
And
okay to you now. Which, by the
no,
way,
you
I asked
don't. You
other
just did it.
people. Okay, well, okay, wait. Let me be honest. I actually asked my other girlfriend. I'm like, I know I say. She's like, yeah, I say KK too, but she goes, actually, okay is rude, and I'm like, I think so too.
What
But
wor what world are we living in today?
it just seems very formal and like something you would say to a child. Okay, so
Okay.
like we thought that, but I was like, I'm not that fucker. I'm gonna let her
But
know.
but why is it okay to say it, but you don't go around saying KK,
I
do
don't.
you?
I'm Canadian, and I don't go around saying a, but I do text a. It's just some things are awkward to say. Like it's not it's awkward to be like KK. Like it's just like when those people are like yeah or like yes. It's weird. It's weird. I don't know why they do it. But through text, you have to be careful the way you communicate in text. When you say formal things, sometimes it comes off very brash. Like like very like saying okay is a proper way to speak. But when you're reading it in text, you don't know the context or how I'm actually saying it. So it seems more formal versus casual.
If you say so.
I say so.
Okay. Okay,
But
Aries.
yes, thank you. I was actually gonna tell you. It's probably because you're a Taurus and you're sensitive, but but okay. So I was gonna start by bringing up guys online, or in general, who
Okay.
one thing I can't stand, but I will bring this up online. I cannot stand, and this happens a lot. Um, Guys who just send you, and this is online or through text, unsolicited photos. Like you just started talking and then they just send you a photo. Like I've had this happen a lot. Like
But
recently with
wait, stop. Photos of what?
of themselves. Like shirtless at the gym, in a hot tub. whatever. Like they just send you a almost seductive photo. I swear to God, this is so odd. Guys in their 40s send kissy faces. I swear. And or like I don't mind like if you're like, "Oh, what are you doing?" and they're like, "Oh, just making dinner," and they send a photo of the dinner or like something like that. But like let's say
Or
like
what if it's like a selfie of them like cooking, like
I mean, maybe a cooking one I could handle,
I
but
mean if the guy is
I've
like
never
naked cooking and
so
he's trying
I
to send you like I would understand that, but if it's just the guy cooking or oh just here with some friends and you like take a photo of you with your
no,
friend,
wait, no,
no.
that's weird. No, that's weird. If it's a shirt on, which I've never had, cooking,
Yeah.
maybe I tolerate it. You and your friends, nope, that's weird. If we're just starting to talk, don't send unsolicited photos. It's like I'll
Okay.
ask you, you know what I
How long?
mean?
How long is it okay to send the photo? I mean, I don't take a lot of photos of myself, but I sometimes like. But I again, they're friends that I've been talking to for a long time, so it's. I mean, I'll just be
Friends
like,
are different. I send
yeah, I
photos to
know.
my friends all the I mean, I don't really actually to be honest with you, but I would, you know. But I just find like and I just mean it when you first start talking. Like and this has happened a lot. Like I was talking to some guy and I was like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh," and literally like 10 minutes into the conversation. That's how quickly I'm saying these things happen. Like
Yeah,
10 minutes in the conversation, he's like, I've just got to the gym." And then he sends a photo of him without a shirt in the mirror of the gym, like in the bathroom. And it's like, I didn't need that. Like you could have just said I'm at the gym. Like I didn't care to see. Like I don't care. Like,
yeah,
and I don't even know the response should be that because I don't care. So I just feel like it's so egotistical. Like I get it, you've got muscles, but that's not what the fuck I was asking. I was just asking what you were doing. You know what I mean? Like
of course, yeah.
if I had said something about it or implied, that's different. But I never implied for those things. So
Okay,
I think that it's very odd when you just start talking to someone to do something like that. And I can't stand it. And it happens a lot. I'm telling you, like, guys will, like, 5 minutes into the conversation. And this is another thing that grosses me out. Like, I like being called babe for my boyfriend, or honey. I mean, I don't like honey because I'm not 80, but like, I like being called babe and stuff. But guys are like, hey, babe, how's it going? Like, and I always answer with, babe's a pig. That's what I always answer with. Like,
but if you're dating and he calls you
totally
babe,
different.
you're fine. Okay,
Totally
got it, got
different.
it,
Oh my God,
got
my
it. Okay,
ex and I would be like, I hope you die today, babe. Like, I'm gonna kill you, babe. Even when we're fighting, it was babe, babe, babe. But I mean, I just think it's so condescending when you don't know someone. Like, I don't want to be nice about it because I'm not opening the door to be like another of the 100 girls you called babe today. You know what I mean?
yeah, of
But
course,
those
yeah.
guys also do something else. Like, my day is much better now that I'm speaking with you. And it's like the first message they send you. And then those same type of guys send kissy face pictures. It's just that douchey. Like, those douchey things are one after another attached to each other,
Yeah. Yeah,
you
that's
know?
something that I mean, I would never do again, like just what we were talking. Like for me, just going up and asking someone's phone, it's like difficult for me. I'm kind of awkward at that. But that I would never send a picture of myself in the first dates. Like that's something I would not do. But it's good to know, like if it ever crossed my mind, good to know not to do.
It's
And
unsolicited. If she
of
asks for
course,
it,
yeah.
if she's like, send me a picture, fine. But if
Yeah.
it's unsolicited, like when you're first starting to talk to someone, but you did ask when, like if I got on a date with you and the next time I talk to you and you're like, what are you doing? You're like at the gym and you sent a selfie and we had a good date, good connection. We're still talking. But
So
I'm
after
talking
first date is
like
fine.
10 minutes.
Okay. Okay, got it,
I
got
think
it.
it could be. Like, what do you think? Like, do you think if you went on a first date, like with a new person, not like obviously the girl that you just saw, because you guys know each other, so it's not weird. But like, let's say you met online or you met at the bar and you've never really talked before, and like the first couple messages she sends you a picture, is that weird to you?
No, I would not mind. Like for me, I really do not care. Like,
A
cool.
kissy face?
Well, I mean, I don't think somebody would send a kissy face in the
I get
first
those
10 minutes.
all the time. I
That's
get
so
those all
weird.
the
Like,
time.
that's something that I would not get. I would probably think it's weird. I would not feel like offended or like, but yeah, it's weird. It's like, why are you sending me a kissy face? Like we
W-
just barely met. But I,
What
yeah,
if
I you know.
what if the first message you sent me, you're like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I'm like, "Hey, babe, doing great. Now that I'm
Uh,
talking to you."
oh yeah, no. Like if you call me babe right away, I'm gonna be like, no, we're not in that point where we can give each other nicknames. And I
It's
also
weird.
like giving like nicknames or like little like I mean I like saying I like calling my girlfriends babe or stuff like that. But I mean I
Yeah.
also because I speak Spanish, there's like other like little sayings of like hey flaca, like it's kind of hard to translate because it's skinny. So I would not call you like hey skinny, but flaca is a like it's a nice way how to call someone.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so yeah, so but yeah, but that happens after a while. Like I would not like with even with this girl that I already know, I would never say like, "Hey babe, it was nice seeing you." No, I
It's
would like
weird.
for me,
It's
yeah,
weird.
it's really weird. And I didn't know guys were doing that like
Oh my
in the
God, all
first.
the time. All the time. I mean, it happens so often. I like I don't even know how to wrap my head around it. Like, and I usually don't even like sometimes like I was interested based on the profile. I'm like, oh, let me try to ignore it. So I say the pig comment or I ignore the photo. I don't even comment on the photo, but it happens so often. I recently had a guy that like, okay, it wasn't right away, but we hadn't met yet. Like we had some messages back and forth. And then afterwards, we had a phone call and it was like an hour call, good conversation. But then after, and I said, I'm on my way out, like I was leaving to go out. So obviously I'm busy. He just kept flooding me with photos of him and his dog at the beach, shirtless. But it's like, dude, first of all, I'm on my way out. Like, I don't want to be texting you while I'm going out with my friends. Second of
Yeah,
all, like, I just got phone with you. I haven't even met you. Now you're sending me like flooding my phone with fucking messages of your shirtless selfies and you and your dog. Like, how many times do you want me to reply? I mean, the thing is, when someone's sending you a shirtless selfie, they're looking for some sort of response of like, hey, great body or nice picture. Like, you look hot. Like, you're fishing for a compliment. Like,
of
I'm
course.
not, I just find it so
Nice abs,
narcissistic.
babe.
Yeah, I mean, what am I supposed to say? So I just say like cute, and then like he kept sending another photo, and it's like cute. Well, I mean, how many fucking? I just stopped responding. Just stop. Like,
Yeah,
I
of
mean,
course.
how many times am I like? I'm not going to tell you have nice abs or nice body or nice whatever because I don't even fucking know you. And
Yeah,
second of all, like it's just weird that you're fishing for compliments like that. Like there was nothing after we had the hour phone conversation. We planned on meeting sometime the next week. Like there was no reason that night to flood my phone with photos.
yeah,
Which by
no, that yeah. I
by
I
the
I
way,
I I find it extremely weird that guys would just do that. Like it just would never cross my mind.
yeah, and by the way, they were old photos because when I met him, he looked nothing like those pictures.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that's
it's weird.
wait.
It's
Yeah, that's really
it cut
weird.
out for a second for some reason. By the way,
Yeah, I heard you like really, I don't know, it was kind of weird, but we're
oh
back.
well. But okay, so that's one thing. So well, I mean, that kind of ties into the fact that I think it's good for people to be comfortable with who they are. I don't like when someone compliments themselves. Do you ever get that?
No, I really have not gotten any like they compliment themselves.
Like I recently was talking to someone. He's like, "Oh, I know everybody. I'm just so well known." Like everybody who needs lawyer advice, they come to me. Like I'm known in my industry. And I was like, dude, like you could have just said I love what I do. And he just kept talking about how, like, as a lawyer, like even he's like, even things that I don't practice in, people come to me for advice because I'm just that good at what I do. And I didn't ask him. I just said, like, oh, what made you choose to become a lawyer? And then he's like, it's just so natural to me. I could pretty much practice any kind of law I want. I am just like, so it's just like, I am known for, like, I could have been the next Girardi before he was a downfall. I don't know if you heard about that Girardi guy in California, but I
No.
mean, he was the lawyer of all lawyers, but now they found out he was a complete fraud. But he was like, I could have been him before his downfall without the scheming. And I was like, dude, like, why don't you just not compliment yourself and just say, I love what I do? Just be
Yeah.
natural.
Yeah, I don't know if it's really that they have so much self-esteem or they have really bad self-esteem and they just need to like pump themselves up, you know? because I would never do that. I would never be like, oh, I'm amazing at what I do. I am blah blah. Like, no.
But how would you respond if you asked some girl, like, let's say she was a doctor and she's like, oh, I'm like the most sought after doctor. Everybody comes to my practice. There's like a 1 year waiting list to get into my practice. Would
I
you
would be
continue
just.
talking to them?
I mean, I would probably say like, oh, that's amazing. Like, period. Like,
I
oh,
just stopped responding.
and then like not if she would continue doing that, I would be like, okay, whatever. Like for me, ghosting is so difficult.
Oh,
I
really?
yes.
Oh God. Well, I mean, that's part of our topic today, but I'm the queen of ghosting.
Oh, I cannot do that. I cannot not respond. I
So how do
feel
you end a conversation with someone you're not interested?
I straight up tell them like, hey, you know what? I don't think this is working out. I'd rather just be honest and just tell her.
Okay, so I have a big thing about that. So I was gonna actually bring that up, but I'll just tell you, I have a huge thing about that. So I, and this is like when I'm on dates, okay? So online, I just ghost. I don't really care. I don't owe you anything, whatever. But like, let's say we go on a date. When I, years ago, I would just ghost after if the person was arrogant or something about them I just didn't like or I just didn't feel connection, I would just ghost. And so I was told from many of my already married friends, so that's why I no longer take dating advice from them because they don't know what it's like to date online. But my
Yeah.
already married friend, she was like, it's not nice, it's not good karma to ghost. And my mom says the same thing. So she's like, you should just, and my sister too, she's like, the appropriate thing is to tell someone, I'm sorry, I'm just not interested. And
Yeah.
what happened is that, and I had this quite a few times where guys would just be completely persistent and say, give it another chance. And I mean, not in the sense like I had one guy blow up my phone, probably like 45 messages just in like one afternoon. Long, like novel ass messages of like what could have been done differently, what conversation could have been changed, why I should give him another chance. You know, I had
How long did you go out with this guy or
one
uh,
day, one day,
oh, okay, one day. Okay,
one day,
continue.
and just a couple drinks, just a couple drinks.
Yeah.
I had another guy that our first date was dinner and drinks. We actually were having a good time. And then we went to another bar after. We really did have a good time, good connection, had a lot of fun with him. I wanted to go on a second date with him. I think I got sick at some point before. It's like, I don't remember what happened that I had to reschedule the second date, and he got really offended by that. So once we finally had the second date, like, first of all, he was late, which is like my biggest no no. But he gets there, and the whole second date, he was like talking about us being serious off like the second date, and I was like, oh, this is not gonna go on. He was a little bit aggressive, so I before like anything, I was like, listen, I'm just gonna go. I called an Uber, and he started to like send me blow up messages. Don't leave. Let's go to our spot. First of all, we don't have a spot. We just, he meant like the bar we went to after dinner last time. He's like, let's go to our spot, which is like, I'm sorry, but it's anyone who lives in my area, it's everyone's spot because it's the latest open bar. So it's not our spot. And then I was like, I'm really sorry. So then I tried not to go. So I tried to share. I'm like, I'm really sorry, but I think you're actually more of an intense person. Like I noticed that when the first cancellation happened, how intense he was about it. And then now
Yeah.
this second date. So I was like, I think we just have no connection. I tried to be fair and honest and tell him how I felt. And then he started to constantly harass me and sending multiple messages telling me like I didn't give him enough of a chance. I should give him a chance, blah, blah, blah. And then it went from like me politely declining to not answering. I was like, I have to go back to my ghosting. I've told him no, thank you like 50 times. And then he started being like, okay, let's not go on a date. Let's just be friends. Let's just go out again. Let's just go out. Like, come on, give me a chance. Let me get another chance. And then he
Where
just
do
kept
you
on messaging
meet
him.
these people?
This
All
was
these
on,
stories you tell me, yeah, but you
I
have
can't.
so many stories that I'm like, what the hell? Like,
I told you I dated a lot. I went on like 3, 4 dates a week before.
I know it's crazy, but like they were bad dates. I mean,
He scared me.
I,
Oh my God, I've even had one, I call him the crab. But I actually hung out with him for a while. And this is really funny. We hung out for like a month, really good time, but he was really intense. Like it was kind of crazy. Like everywhere we'd go with his friends and stuff, he would start fighting with them. Like it was one on one, we would have the best time. But after like 3 or 4 times going with his friends and seeing him like explode, I was like, dude,
But
I
like
can't hang out with you.
argument,
Like lose his temper, and it was really weird because he would turn around, he'd be so nice to me. And it was like not like that with his friends. So I told him, like, I'm really sorry, but I just don't see any future with us. So I don't want to hang out anymore. And then he started sending me like a selfie once a week of himself. No, no lie. I'm not even responding to his text. I literally, then he would start like conversations like as if they were mid conversation. He'd be like, so had a great time at the gym today. How's your afternoon going? Like, how is, and then he'd mention my friends. It's like, I haven't responded to your last 20 messages. And then I'll never forget, like, he kept on messaging, kept on messaging. And I was like, dude, finally, I'm like, listen, how many times do I have to explain to you? I'm not interested in, and this is like 6 months into this. Don't ever contact me anymore. I'm starting to think that you're making me nervous. Like, I think you're unhinged. And he wrote to me like, oh, okay, well, forget you, delete my number. And it's like, I did delete your number. I've deleted your number a million times. That's why every random time that you message me, I'm like, who is this? Until
well, you
like,
have to delete it and block it, or
I don't blog because I feel like you have to be so unhinged to continue doing those messages that if they threaten me, I want to know.
oh no, no, I would just fucking block that number and be like, you're you're dumb, you're stupid. Like, no.
But they show up, like, I've had a girlfriend of mine, and the guy showed up at her house because she blocked him. I guess he threatened, sent her, like, the police said that on his end he'd actually messaged a million times saying I'm on my way to you, but because she blocked him, she didn't know. So I
Well,
don't blog.
no, I would block. I mean,
But then what if they show up at your door like her?
well, I would look through the peephole and just be like, nope, bitch, you crazy. Dial 911. Be like, hey, there's some crazy bitch outside of my house.
I mean, she's got to be crazy. He's just nuts. I don't get the persistent thing. I don't get it.
Yeah,
I
I don't
really,
like, and what's weird is like what you're telling me is like after the first date, how, like why would you do that after the first date? If we were dating for, I don't know, 2 years, a year, and you just break up with me, then probably I could be like not stalker, but kind of like, hey, come on, let's give each other like another chance or something, like,
yeah,
but
yeah.
not after
If
a
there's
first date.
history, yeah. Oh my
Yes.
God. And so I'll tell you something. So I tried to change my whole, I was like, okay, ghosting doesn't work. Telling them nicely doesn't work. Let me try to turn them off. That's my next theory. So I recently went out with a guy, and that was the one. He didn't look like his pictures. He was much older. And wasn't that he looked bad, but he clearly, like, the photos he had bombarded me with before were like not, you know,
They were not recent. Yeah.
no. And so he was like really into the situation. Like, he's like, wow, you look nice, blah, blah. And like we were having a good conversation, but I was just not into him. I also just, it was my fault. Like, I didn't actually want to go with him. I didn't really respond to any of his photos that day after he was like bombarding me with the photos. I was like, I'm just not going to message back. And I didn't message back. And everyone tells me I'm like so difficult now. Like, oh, you're like so difficult. You don't go on any dates. Like, you don't give anyone opportunity. Maybe he didn't mean anything of it. So I never responded when he was like sending all those photos. I just like said like cute like once or twice. And I was like, fuck, this guy's annoying. I never planned on meeting, but our phone conversation was great. So I was like, my girlfriend's like, just go, just go. He's asking you out, like just go for one drink. So like, fine, whatever. So I went, and it was okay, but I just didn't want anything further. You know what I mean? Like, I was just like,
Yeah.
ugh, like, there's no chemistry. Like, that phone conversation, everything after that phone conversation was just off putting. And so I was like, everything he said he didn't like, my new thing is to like say those things, right? So I start with like, they say I love kids, I don't like kids. And he's like, I can't stand people who smoke. I'm like, oh, I chain smoke when I drink, which is not true. I mean, I have
Mhm.
in the past, but I really don't.
Yeah.
And then I started like trying to do things that I thought would turn him off. And then he randomly says like Elon Musk is a genius. And I was like, all right, I'll take this one. So I was like, what? I was like, he's not a genius. And then I started to like quiz him, like, what has he done? He didn't even start Tesla. And so I started like a little bit of a like, let me turn him off, let me turn him off. Like, this never happens or whatever. So he was finally put off. And literally we were together for like an hour and 45 minutes, max 2 hours. And I like got up, like we said bye, totally fine, cordial, but I was like, oh, thank God, he'll never message me again. He started, I'm not even kidding, like within 20 minutes of me leaving, hate texting me. you're an asshole, you're so fucking arrogant, blah, blah, blah. Like, hate text. I was like, man, how are you so bothered by 2 hours of your life with somebody? And hate texting. And the next morning, first thing in the morning, like seven something in the morning, I started getting multiple messages from him. Elon Musk facts. You know who's an idiot? You're an idiot. You're not amounted to anything. You've never amounted to. You're like oh, by the way, call me an immigrant, which by the way, I love immigrants. There's nothing better than immigrants in this world. They like how can you disrespect someone for risking their life and move or not risking, like changing their entire life up, like holding everything and moving to another country. Which by
Of
the way,
course.
I just moved from fucking Canada. So for me, I don't it wasn't even hard. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I I have so much respect for Iranians that come and don't speak proper English and come to this country, or Mexicans, or any fucking culture. And by the way, he's not even American. Like, oh, he is now a citizen, but he's not from America. And he was like trying to insult me by calling me an immigrant and that I haven't amounted to anything in my life and that I'm an idiot. And here's Elon Musk professors calling him a genius. And I was like, man, I actually have no problem with Elon Musk. Like, I don't like him. I don't dislike him. I don't care for his existence. And this guy was so fucking bothered. Like, so bothered. Yeah.
people are crazy. I don't know. I think you need to like change your dating app or something because you're meeting really bad men.
I don't know what to do. Like every time I try like to be more open minded, these are the situations I get into. Anytime I'm closed minded, I sit at home every Friday, Saturday night. So I don't
And
I don't
I
know.
was gonna say you should also carry a pack of cigarettes just in case they're like, well, I don't see you smoking, and you're like, oh, give me a second, I'll gotta go outside and just light
Chain
one
smoke.
up. Yeah,
Man, I'll anything. If they're like, oh, I like love people. I hate people who don't exercise. I'm like, oh, I haven't been to the gym in 5 years. I go every day, but like, I'll say anything. But my whole point is like, I don't understand this persistence. Like after a first date, I don't get it. Or even before you meet, like guys online will continue to message you too. Like you don't respond to them, and they're just like, hey, hi. I have guys that do that like 2 years in. They'll like go into
yeah.
like backlogs and like, how's it going? And I haven't responded to 12, 15 messages.
The only time that something like that happened to me was I was going out with this girl, and we went out like I don't know, maybe like a month. I mean, several dates or something. And then I was just like, I was not really that interested. And I guess I think she got drunk because I don't think she would have just like texted like that. But she was and like she just out of like I was like, hey, you know what? I don't think this is working. I mean, let's just call it quits. Like we haven't even been going out that long, so I think it's better. I'm just not feeling it. And like later that same day, she just started like, oh, you're not man enough to say what you're feeling and blah blah. And like she started like just telling me all these texts, and I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? Like I was honest with you. Like
You
I
actually
told
did
you,
share what you felt.
yeah. And like I don't know if she just like suddenly went out drinking or something, and she just started texting me, and I was just like, you know what? I'm sorry you feel like that. Um, I was trying to be totally honest with you. I told you how I felt. I'm just not feeling this connection, and that's it. And but yeah, but she started like I don't know, like kind of like hate texting, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of weird. And so then I'm kind of glad that that happened because where this where did all this come from? Like I didn't know this existed inside of you in this month that we were dating. Like I don't know. And all these people, and that's what I'm thinking about. Like you, like, what if you would have kept dating these guys and
I
then the
know.
real person comes out, like the
I
really,
know. I know.
and you're like, the fuck, who are you?
I know. I'm
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
so grateful when I see. But I have two questions for you for that. How did you respond to each one of her messages?
No, like I just let her, like, she just started like texting, like back, back to back text, like just telling me like she did not like me and she was like, it was just how she lost all this time going out with me, like all this, and
A
I
month
was
is
just
not
like,
that much time.
I know, and I'm like, so I just like let her ramble on, and I'm like, okay, you text me, girl, and then once I saw that she stopped texting, I was just like, "Hey, sorry you feel this way. I really never thought like I never started this like going out with you or relationship or whatever, thinking that this was gonna happen, you know. I really tried it and I just didn't feel it at the end. Like now I cannot have my own feelings. Like I cannot I don't know, I just feel it's weird that they come at you like that. Like, if you're not feeling it, that's you, you know? Like, let me be me. I don't have to be in this just because you want to continue.
Well, you know what's really funny is I once was telling one of these situations to a manager in my building, and he was like, "Oh, you know what's really interesting?" He's in a relationship, and he's like, "My friend continues to message girls, like regardless if he's met them, gone on a date with them, online, whatever, even when they don't respond." And I never understand why he does it. I'm like, I don't understand why people do it either. And I told him this once. I'm like, tell your friend this. I'm like, why like I this is what I don't understand. If someone is not responding to me, if I message a guy and I'm interested and he doesn't respond to me, I'm not going to keep messaging that person out of self-respect. I don't need to I don't want someone even that I have to convince to give me the time of the day. The reality is, we are all on our phone. People don't mess like not see a message. Now there are times that like you and I've had this like even the other day my best friend like FaceTimed me and then after like 2 hours she didn't hear from me. She messaged me and she's like, "Hey, are you okay? I FaceTimed you and you and hear back because usually I get back pretty quick."
Yeah.
But the call didn't go through. I didn't even know she'd called. So yeah, that's one thing. Or like you see a text message and you got busy and you forgot to respond, fine. But let's say you send two messages and you don't get any further messages. We are not in a day and age where one, the text message got lost, or two, someone, doesn't have access to a phone or way to communicate with you. Everyone's got internet, everyone's got Wi-Fi. Like they can, if they choose to talk to you, if they want to talk to you after your second message, which I think two should be the limit. Like I'm okay. Like I said, there are times where like things don't go through, or maybe someone forgot to message back. Fine. You want to send two? I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Anything after that, you don't need to be force someone or convince someone that you're worth it. Either someone values you and they see the purpose, and that goes all ways. Like yeah, it's true, like maybe online you're like, well, they're not even getting a chance to know me, but they're not even willing to give that chance. So why would you disrespect yourself? Because you will always have that part of you that will know that you had to kind of convince that person to give you a chance, and that's
Of-
not there's someone who's going to value you right off the bat. Don't you want
Yeah.
someone who values you right off the bat? So that's why I don't understand. And I remember telling like, why don't you tell your friend, if you got to keep harassing someone to see any worth in you, it's not worth it. So I don't get it. I really don't understand. Like, I don't want a guy, and we'll talk about this one thing. Like, with my I had an ex once that we like played games and got it all going. Like, it was almost like convincing the other person you were worth it. And you don't forget that. That creates insecurity the whole way through. You know what I mean? Like,
Of course.
I don't know. Like there's one thing with like courting, which is like putting your best foot forward and hoping the person sees the best in you, but there's nothing when the person can't even give you any sort of respect at the time of day. Why do you keep
Yeah.
chasing? It
Yeah.
doesn't make sense.
And yeah, and sometimes I like while I'm working, I'm in the middle of a meeting and I can't take out my phone and answer, you know. I have my Apple Watch and I see that there's a text and it may like the meeting can be, I don't know, 2 hours long. And so I won't answer during those 2 hours, but as soon as I can, I'll answer back. But
Exactly. Or
but yeah,
or
but
maybe
if
you
I'm
forget and it's the next day. But
yeah,
you get back to that person.
of course, yeah. But if I don't want to answer to that person, I'll just stop answering and I hopefully they understand that I don't want to have a conversation with them.
And that kind of goes also with that girl that you broke up with, which I also want to, don't let me forget this. I want to ask you about the drinking thing. But why would you hate text? Like she was sending you negative text, or like that guy went on a date with that was sending me hate text. Like I didn't respond to any of it. I didn't care. Like to be completely honest, like if he thinks I'm the biggest idiot in the fucking world, like I said, I've known him for 2 hours of my life. It's never gonna affect me. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not a sponge. I'm not gonna soak up everyone's opinion of me, especially someone that I don't value. And how can you value someone you don't know? Like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like the only thing he did in that moment was disrespect himself because he lowered himself to say such hateful things. And he allows someone he doesn't even know opinion of him to affect him so much. I didn't respond. I genuinely don't care. Like, he will never ever make me think about who I am as a person because I care about the people in my circle, like, and how they value me and how I treat them and how they treat me. Like, that's what matters, not someone of 2 hours. So I don't understand like their purpose of that. Like, all you're doing is disrespecting yourself.
Yeah, and can you imagine if you find him, I don't know, a year later having dinner and he's having dinner with a girl
I
or
would say
or
something to her.
and
I
I
would.
know, and so he already fucked up because I mean, I hope you would tell this girl
Oh,
that like,
100%.
hey, and so he shot his own foot.
And the world is small. It's crazy. Like, you find people like, I may be in a city with 10 million people, but it's so crazy how small society actually is. And that's exactly it. Like, I don't think most girls, like, if they read the extent of such message, or another guy read the extent of message that girl sent you, they're not going to tolerate. They're going to be like, that's just so hateful and so weird. And I don't understand, like, what response are they wanting back? Like, let's say I'm like, wow, like, what did he want me to say back? Like, yes, I'm a fucking idiot, because I'm not gonna say that. No one's gonna say that. Or like, let's say you say to the girl, like, you're right, I didn't express my feelings, even though you completely did. I'm an idiot. Let's give it another try. Does she really
Yeah,
want another try? Like, do you really want, like, he already told you he wasn't that into you. Now you're like forcing him into, like, what is the reason behind
yeah,
those messages?
exactly. Like, do you want to try again, or are you just like being hateful because that's what you have in
So
your heart right now? Like, yeah,
for anybody who's actually listening to this, if you do that, maybe you should really think, like, what is, like, I feel like that guy, because he called me an idiot so many fucking times, he really wanted me to feel like I'm an idiot. But let's be realistic. Most people aren't going to walk away being like, wow, I'm such an idiot. They're going to think, wow, you're a fucking psycho. So what?
yes,
It's not really worth it. And it's just crazy how often people do these things. Or like the other guy that just kept messaging me, telling him to give him another chance, or you're the girl, like it's just, there's really no reason. Like, it's best to just walk away and find someone. And we're fucking overpopulated in this world. There is somebody out there who's going to value the same things as you and value you as an individual, that you're not going to have these types of conversations with. So wouldn't you rather go in this overpopulated world and find someone who finds you worthy and be with that person? you
of
know
course, yeah.
it's just
And like you
nuts.
said, and it doesn't have to be pressure. It doesn't have to be like, come on, go out with me,
Hmm.
please, please, Sherry. Let's give it another try. Like, no, like it
It's
was
especially,
just a date, 2 dates. Like,
yeah,
no,
even a month. Like, there is somebody out there. How many times do you hear a story? Someone's like, my heart was broken. I got divorced. I thought I'd never find love, and then they find their true love. There is somebody else. There
yeah.
is somebody else out there. Oh, it
And there
drives me insane.
and it doesn't mean that there has to be someone. Some people just are alone forever and they're fine with that.
They find a way to cope, but I don't think. I think we usually all find someone. I think there's someone out there for everybody.
You do?
Yeah, I do. But I do agree with you. Some people are happy alone if that's what you want. But I'm just saying, if you are searching for someone, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
We're so fucking overpopulated. How could there not be somebody
of
else?
course. Yeah,
Like,
there's someone as crazy as you. So,
yeah, of
yeah.
course. And someone that's as big of an asshole as I am, or as kind as you are. But here's another thing too. Do you think, because you said you maybe that girl was drunk, do you think being drunk is an excuse to fucking send random bullshit messages?
Oh, hell no. No, I
I
don't
do.
think so. I just feel like or she spoke with someone and the girl was like she was probably like she spoke with her friend or something and her friend was like, fuck him, like you should tell him or so, like I don't feel it really came from her. Like I don't feel she's like that.
I love how you still give her the benefit of the doubt. The
I
girl was a
know.
psycho. Like,
I
well, she
know.
she let her true colors out. You only say like, oh, when you first like get a rescue pet, it takes like 2-3 weeks a month for the real her to come out, or the real animal to come out. The real animal came out of this girl. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah, but I don't feel she like I felt like she was pushed to do that or she was just like kind of drunk, which again, I don't I don't feel it was fine that she did that. I like, but I'm like, I mean, it happens. Maybe it was just a low moment for her, and I don't know.
But
Also,
I
so
feel like socially, we should respect one another enough to not think that you can have a low moment and throw your anger out on someone else. Like you care if you care about them. Like like if relationships, friendships, all kinds of types of relationships, sometimes they naturally end or they just end. Like there's just no further, moving forward with that person. If you ever respected that person, you should respect them enough as an adult. I mean, we don't do it in our younger teens and 20s because we're, naive and we're hateful or whatever, we're growing. But in your late 30s or in your 30s, we should have respect. Like I have friends that I'm no longer friends with anymore. The ones that I really care for and respect, I don't send negative things to because I really do wish them the best. Out of
of course,
socially having some respect for them, if you ever respected someone, you really do care about them, just allow them to walk away with no awful moments. You know what I mean? Like your last memory of this girl is fucking awful.
yes. And so, and like, let's say my one of my ex-girlfriends, she cheated on me. I found out, and I still we don't talk, but she still like sends me a hey, happy birthday or something on my birthday, or like our relationship, we don't talk anymore, but if we ever have to cross path or something, I'm
You're
like, hey, how's it
cordial.
going? Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
you did that, you fucked up, it's fine. I mean, I'm already over it, and
And
I
you're
never,
respecting yourself. You're respecting
yes,
yourself
and
by being cordial.
I never texted her being like, you fucking bitch. Like, no, I was just like, you know what? This is over. You fucked up. Bye. Like, call it quits. Nothing's gonna happen.
You never
And
got so many beers in and you sent her those hateful messages because you realize
no,
it's not being drunk is not an excuse to be an asshole
of course, yeah, no, no, no.
or
And then
anything.
we used to live together, and so then, well, she moved out, and she left like some furniture in our place that we were living together, and after she moved out, and like 3 months after, she was like, hey, um can I go and pick up the stuff? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And so she came by, and I was helping her put everything in her car and everything. And before she left, she's like, hey, so do you want to have sex? And I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, it's just sex. I'm like, no, you know what? You can leave. Like, fuck you. Like, where did that come from? Like, I don't know. It was just so weird. I'm like, no. But yeah. But yeah,
I like how
she
she wanted that to be the last taste in your mouth. Like, hey, by the way, if you want a quickie, just
yeah, I'm like,
just
no.
I'm giving you one last chance to hit it before I move
Yeah.
on since I
Yeah.
cheated.
Yeah. I'm like, no, you're fine. But yeah, so but yeah. But then like again, like I never texted her because I mean we're talking about do's and don'ts, or well right now it's don'ts, but yeah, I never texted her in any negative way. I was just like, you know what, like it's over. And I feel like I rather have a conversation if it's gonna be a conversation of like breaking up or hey, you know what? I'd rather have it in person. I
Hmm.
don't want to. I feel it's terrible doing it on text. I mean,
That's
if
true.
it's 1 or 2 dates, I probably would not care doing it via text. But if it's
I
been
just
like,
I had a date this weekend and you know, for me it wasn't great. Like I just did not feel any chemistry. And but it was fine. Like he was a nice person. We just had one drink. Uh and he messaged me the next day and he's like I had a and honestly he kept being like let's go dancing after, let's go get food like dessert or let's go get another drink and I was like no, I honestly just want to go home or like no, sorry, like not like I'm tired, like that's what I said, right? And the next
yeah,
day he messaged me and he said, I had a really great time. I'd love to get together again. And I messaged him back saying, you're a really nice person. I was happy to meet because he was a really nice person. I was happy to meet him, but I just didn't feel like we had anything in common. And he just
mhm,
left it. And I just felt it was the most respectful thing. Like, I've had guys like end it like that or like not say anything. Or I had a guy once do like the thumb. I really like that. I thought that was
yeah,
nice. Because we'd
yeah,
actually
and
gone on a few dates and I was like maybe like 4 or 5 dates and I was like, I don't see us anything long term. And I really was like attracted to him and the chemistry was there, but long term we had really different views in life. And
Yeah.
I told him that, and he just gave me the thumper. I respected that. Like, you don't have to say something back. If you do, you can say, like, I've had guys say, like, oh, yeah, understood, wish it went a different way, but understand. Like, that's completely fine,
Of
normal.
course, yeah. Like, why do you have to be aggressive? Why do you have to be, yeah, yeah.
And
For me,
I
it
have
would be
nothing
like,
but good things to say about those people. For you,
yeah,
sorry?
yeah. No, I would do exactly the same. Like, just be like, hey, if you texted me and, hey Ben, you know what? I don't think this is gonna work out. Blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, have a good one.
Yeah,
See you when I
but
see
not
you.
babe.
Or yeah.
Not hey babe. Just hey Ben.
Did I, no?
I think you
Did I
said
say
babe.
babe?
I feel like you did.
No, I said, hey Ben. I
Oh,
don't
I
think
heard
this is
hey
like
babe.
you're no, you're texting me and you're like, hey Ben, I don't think this is gonna work out. I would be like, okay, sounds
I,
good.
I'm gonna send you that right after I'm like about the podcast. Hey Ben. But I'm gonna say babe. Hey babe. Well,
I gotta start calling you babe during the show.
oh God. Oh God. I'm just gonna start sending you emojis of a pig. I just, you know. And some guys get so offended when you correct them. I'm like, babe's a pig. And they're like, that's not what I meant. And it's like, yeah, I know, but whatever you did mean, either way, it just is not hitting. It's not falling, it's falling short.
Yeah.
So we've established a couple of things. Being drunk at this age is not an excuse for fuck all, no matter what it is that you're going to do. Um, Definitely have enough respect to not send hate text messages and not to send
Correct.
anything past two messages. And most importantly, you need to go off here and message the girl that you just met.
I promise I will. I'll just be like, again, just like you said, hey, it was so nice to see you. I don't know, and hope to see you soon or something. Is that okay?
Just say, like, hey, it was really great bumping into you. Well, just say, like, hey, it was really great bumping into you the other day. And then she'll say, like, yeah, it really was. And then see where the conversation goes. If she's busy, maybe she won't say much more. Then you could just leave it at that. And then maybe later on this week, be whatever day you want to invite her out. You could maybe in a couple days say, like, hey, I was thinking if you want to grab dinner this weekend. That's it. You know?
Hmm.
Just be
Okay.
yourself. Why do we overthink these things? Just be yourself, but be casual. You don't need to, like, I mean, not that you would send a kissy face, send a shirtless selfie, like, just be fucking normal. Like, I always think to, like, when guys do this stuff, like, do you send the same shirtless selfie to your friends? Like, why can't you just talk to me like a normal human being? Why do you got to put it all, like,
Okay, question about kissy face. Sorry.
yeah,
Um, Emojis. How
emoji
do you
kissy face?
feel? Yeah, how no no no, like emojis in general. Like so something that I do, like I just send like a happy emoji or like the I don't know, like but
I don't mind emojis,
okay. But like
but
a kissy
but
emoji,
well, if I don't know you, and guys do that too, and guys do that too. They'll be like, hey, how's it going? And then they'll send the kiss emoji as their first or second message as no thank you. Don't send a kiss emoji to, like, anybody until you've actually kissed. you know,
okay.
Unless it's your friend. I send kiss emojis to my friends, but, like, do not send a kiss emoji to a girl you have not kissed. Like, it's just fucking weird. It's just like being too handsy. It's not a first date,
Right?
or
Okay. Okay.
yeah. Well, but just bringing that up, be backing that up a little bit. Also, another thing is, I notice a lot of guys, are they called gifts? The gift. I mean, I'm fucking old.
GIF or
Also,
GIF.
yeah, those things too are fucking annoying. Like, a guy will, like, you're like, hey, how's it going? And then they'll send, like, a gif of something, and it's like, I don't. If I wanted to respond to fucking images that you found online, I would just not talk to you at all. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? A lot of guys send gifts. If you've got nothing to fucking say, do not send a gift. You can't send those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to
Well,
know.
good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
Well, since we're
Good to
both
know.
sick and, we've talked, let's end it today. And next week, oh, and we'll end with the information too. But next podcast, we're talking about cultural differences in dating.
Yeah.
Um, and so, follow us again if you can. Subscribe, follow us on the perfect_X. That's just the letter X. And if you've got any information, even if you're that person that constantly messages when they're getting ghosted, you can definitely email us at theperfectx@hotmail.com. And don't forget, X is just the letter. And that's it for
Just the
today.
letter X. Yes.
Just the letter X. I'll talk to you next week.
Okay, Sherry. Really nice
Bye.
talking to you.
Bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.